What's up, guys? Welcome to Dynasty Drip today. It's the off season, and we're coming at you with another sell video. These are 5 guys who I really want to get off my roster before the NFL draft. I'm not saying that I hate these players. I'm just saying I see a potential risk with how the NFL draft maybe plays out, and I like to get value while it's high before it potentially takes a hit. So the first player today I want to talk about is going to be a running back. That's going to be Chase Brown, running back on the Bengals. Now, I think I might have mentioned Chase Brown before. I was really all over him last offseason as a breakout and a buy just because I felt his price was pretty low and affordable. But right now, he's just valued a little too high for me as someone who I don't really feel has a guaranteed bell cow workload going into this season. I think the Bengals have worked out a lot of backs in the draft. I think this is a very deep and talented running back draft class coming into the NFL. And so I'm just concerned enough that Chase Brown could get his workload eaten into that I want to move off him before he slides down the ranks even more. My trade idea today is going to be, can I move Chase Brown for Jalen Waddle, someone who I view as much more of a safer asset. I think Waddle has kind of fallen down the ranks a bit due to a couple unlucky seasons. Now, maybe he'll never be ranked as a top 10 dynasty wide receiver again, which he once was years ago coming off his rookie season. But for me, Waddle does have upward mobility. Tyreek Hill leaves. Tyreek Hill gets hurt. All of those kind of things could make Waddle even rise up the ranks a little bit. Or if he has another season, he kind of returns to his old self. I think he could rise up kind of into the teens of dynasty wide receivers as well. So I like doing this trade. I think for me, it's just a safe trade, and I don't mind doing these trades in the offseason to mitigate risk on my dynasty rosters. So next trade, going to be another second-year running back. Going to be talking about Tyrone Tracy. Same thing. I mean, I liked Tracy last year. I think he looked very good as a player, and we don't really know the direction the Giants are going to go, but I don't think there's any reason to believe that Tyrone Tracy is a safe asset in Dynasty. Now, he's not valued as high as Chase Brown. He's closer to RB24 on KTC. Brown was RB17. But same thing for me as with Tracy. If they take someone, his value just gets immediately crushed, and he wasn't really, he's not a top 12 Dynasty guy who's a bell cow and every week starter. So I really don't mind moving off these guys, trying to use them to get a safer wide receiver maybe. Tyrone Tracy here. I want to trade Tracy in a future 26 second. Can I go get DJ Moore? Someone who I think is being a little undervalued right now. Could potentially be the wide receiver 1 there in Chicago with Rome Odunze. We don't really know exactly what's going to happen. But DJ Moore is a safe talent, man. He's 28. He's got 3-4 years left in him probably. He's now with the best offensive coordinator he's ever had probably. Caleb Williams looks to maybe kind of return to his prospect self, an elite generational talent people once thought he was. Can he bring it back? And with that, I think DJ Moore has a top 20 season in him this year. And so for me, I'd much rather have a top 20 wide receiver than a top 24 running back who could get replaced in the NFL draft. And for me, it's just that simple. I mitigate risk during the offseason. I build value on my team. And then what you do with that value is you can still go get running backs, but I want to wait till beginning of the season, preseason, where I know and have more information about the running backs on each NFL roster. So coming into the third spot, I guess I might claim this is going to be the spicy one. Maybe I just save the third player to be spicy in all of my buy-sell videos or whatever. But I'm going to be talking about Jackson Smith-Njigba. Now, I don't mean I don't like Jackson Smith-Njigba, and I don't mean that I don't have him as a top 15 dynasty wide receiver. I think he's young. I think he's elite. I think he's going to have a good target share, but I'm just concerned enough about the bad offensive line in Seattle. I like Sam Darnold, man, but this is not Minnesota. Minnesota had an offensive coach, a decent O-line, incredible weapons, and I just don't know if Sam Darnold's going to succeed at the rate that he succeeded last year. And I think a lot of people are just assuming, like Sam Darnold made Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson amazing, like JSN's going to be absolutely the same this year. But the thing is Sam Darnold does not do well under offensive pressure, with the blitz, with guys in his face. And Seattle's offensive line did not show that they knew how to protect someone last year. Geno got slammed in a lot of games. So for me, JSN currently valued at wide receiver 11. Two things for me is I just think he's tiny bit overvalued. Like I said, I have him closer probably to 13, 14, 15 in there, which I know it's only a couple slots, but when you're at the top end of these dynasty wide receivers, a couple slots could mean something. And number two, I'm not ruling out that Seattle takes a wide receiver in the draft. And for me, if they take someone on the outside, a Tet McMillan, Luther Burden, I don't know, man, but I'm not saying that JSN is going to be just incredibly safe and insulated from value. My trade idea here is basically, can I trade JSN for a guy that I just have a tiny bit ahead of him in my ranks, and that's going to be Ladd McConkey. Now, I think they're very similar players, but I'm just not as worried that the Chargers add an elite wide receiver in the first round, and for me, that's kind of the tiebreaker. I think just the way that Harbaugh coaches, I mean, last year he could have taken Malik Neighbors. What did he do? He took Alt to secure the offensive line, and I think he would lean towards offensive line, defensive line, or if they do add a weapon, I think it would be a tight end. So I think Ladd McConkey's role as the number one wide receiver there tied to Justin Herbert is just safer than JSN's potential wide receiver one role tied to Sam Darnold. That's the tiebreaker. I think in a lot of leagues you could get this done if someone just values JSN more than Ladd McConkey. I mean, if you have JSN, go hit up the Ladd McConkey owner and say, hey man, do you like JSN more than Ladd? Want to do that swap? Now, if they do, they don't, it's totally fine. But for me, it's how I have them ranked. So I'd be willing to do that trade. And I just think Ladd McConkey has a little more solidified role with a much better quarterback, much better offensive line. So I think he's a safer asset in Dynasty. Moving on to the fourth trade. Going back to the Chargers, it's going to be running back, going to be Najee Harris. Now, perfect landing spot for Najee Harris as a free agent running back. So I'm stoked for him for that. But if they take a running back in the first, second, third round, Najee Harris could get his role worked into. Now, if it's another late guy, I wouldn't be too concerned. You know, if it's a fifth round guy, they add Ollie Gordon in the seventh, whatever. That's not what I'm saying here. But, you know, if they add one of the Ohio State guys, Omarion Hampton, it could be a little messy for Najee. And right now, I still think you could move him for another win now piece that's just a little safer. I'm not really going to overtalk on Najee. I think we all get the thing here, man. If he's the RB1 for the Chargers, he's a valuable asset. And if he gets into a shared backfield, his value is going to go down. We don't need to overthink it. We understand it. But now's the time to try to capitalize on his good free agent landing spot if someone wants him in your league. My trade idea is, can I trade Najee Harris for Devontae Adams? Now, I'm trying to be realistic with this. I don't think anyone's going to buy Najee as a top 15 running back, who's former first-round pick. None of that stuff is going to work in your league. But can I move Najee Harris for another win-now piece, who I think just has a little more solidified role? 2-year deal with the Rams, Devontae Adams, great win-now piece for your team. Probably going to be a top 24 wide receiver like he always has been. That's a safer piece than Najee Harris, so I would do that swap if you can. But, keep in mind, I think other assets in that range could be interesting as well. But I like that swap if you can make it happen. Before we get to the last one, if you guys made it this far in the video, I really appreciate it. If you made it this far, drop a trade if you need trade help. Drop a subscribe, drop a like, throw me a comment. I'm here to help you guys win your league. But the last one we're talking about today is going to be a quarterback, going to be Justin Fields. I'm rooting for Justin Fields. I am. I like Justin Fields as a player. I think it showed a lot that he was able to sit through that situation he did in Pittsburgh last year. Didn't complain, not really a diva. And he got a good contract. He got rewarded $40 million basically. But, he's already lost 2 starting jobs. I don't really know if he's a long-term asset for any franchise. And if you can sell him as a starting quarterback with upside right now, I think this might be your last chance to do so. I'm suggesting moving him for a 27 first. I'd take a 27 first off any given team. Worst case scenario, it's late, which I think is a fair trade here according to KTC. Best case scenario is that pick ends up a little earlier because it's hard to project what a team's going to be 2 years in the future in your Dynasty league. But I just think the value you're going to gain from this 27 first accruing value, I don't really know how much higher Justin Fields can go in value, because even if he starts playing well, everyone's going to bake in that we've seen him lose his job twice. So I just think it's not really a risk I'm worth taking. Now, I wouldn't take a late second or something, but a first-round pick for Justin Fields, I'm taking all day. But thank you guys for tuning in to Dynasty Drip. If you didn't know, I'm Sam, here to help you win your league. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to watch all of our other videos on the channel. We are grinding to get to 1,000 subs. So if you made it through the whole video and are not subscribed, please hit that button. Thank you guys.